Welcome back for another top-notch video. This week, guys, we'll be talking about the week of 12 April through 16 April. As always, the top-notch channel is about the Thrift Savings Plan, the TSP. We talk about the C, S, I, and F fund. If you're in Roth ROTH brokerage accounts, we talk about the ETFs, IVV, VXF, EFA, and AGG. As always, these funds equal the S&P 500, small caps, international markets, and bonds. We do a general overview on this channel, and then we do a technical analysis, and then we show you guys where we are allocated on the top-notch channel. If that interests you, please like, subscribe, or share. Let's get right into the video. For this week, guys, the first thing we like to talk about is the Thrift Savings Plan TSP Talk website. Basically gives us a general overview of where funds went for the week. As you can see, for the F, C, S, and I funds, all funds were up for the week, with the C and S fund neck to neck, and the I fund just beating out those other two funds for the week. The F fund was also up, which is good news, guys. If that's the first week it's been up in a while. For the year, guys, we are now up over 12% for our C and S funds, with the I fund trailing just a little bit. For our kind of broad overview, we're going to look at some of these charts that the TSP Talk Weekly Talk throws up on their website. Please check them out. As you can see here, we have the C fund up here. Look at this trend channel, guys. Just really had an open gap here towards the beginning of April. A lot of people thought they would close that open gap once we came off that, and it has just exploded, continuing up and up and up and up in this upper trend line. I don't know where this will come back down, but typically when we have a gap space, those tend to get filled. So we'll have to wait and see where things go. But it has been a fantastic month of April for IVV or the S fund. Moving on to the C fund. The S fund, that's the fund we're moving to now, small caps. As you can see here, we had this kind of downward trend line moving through here. We did see that break through this past week, so that is a very positive sign for the S fund or small caps, VXF. We'll have to wait and see where that goes from there. And then, of course, we have EFA. EFA also did very well. It broke through this top trend line here. That's also a very good sign moving forward. We'll go through more of that in our technical analysis. And finally, bonds. Guys, bonds is finally making a comeback. It has taken it 3-4 months to get out of its rut. We've passed the 20-day moving average, passed the 50-day moving average just a little bit here, and we're in an upward trend line. Good to see this come back, but the thing that's kind of not so good is to see this 200-day moving average move more downwards. I'm really hoping it can break that 200-day moving average, and we can have this fund as a viable fund when we cannot be in stock funds, but that is yet to be determined. Let's go ahead and move into our technical analysis. So for IVV, the C fund for Thrift Savings Plan users, what are we seeing? Like I mentioned, the month of April has just exploded. Look at it. It is now above this trend line that we started way back in October. Above that trend line there, moving higher. That is a good sign. Hopefully it can stay above that trend line and we can move into a price percentage up there. Now, the one thing I'm kind of concerned about is we could see a failed breakout, so just keep that in mind, but we haven't seen that yet. So far, this fund is doing very well. We'll look at it in the charts. With the charts, you guys, the two things we like to look at if you're a new subscriber, new listener, we like to look at long-term charts and short-term charts. We look at two indicators. The two indicators we look at are the derivative oscillator and the price percentage oscillator. Between those two things, with this oscillator, guys, we look at the red bars and green bars. The derivative oscillator goes from red to green, price tends to go up. When it goes from green to red, price tends to decrease a little bit. That's what we see with that oscillator. That's our first kind of chart that we like to look at, our indicator. Our second indicator is our price percentage oscillator. And with this oscillator, we like to look at the blue and red line. When the blue crosses the red line, blue above red, price tends to rise. When blue goes below red, price tends to fall. Between those two indicators, we kind of like try and make an idea of where price might go next. Now, we never truly know where it will go, but these two indicators do help us out quite a bit. We look at it with all of our charts, and we're going to start with IVV or the C fund. So as you can see here, this last 2 weeks, the derivative oscillator was up. This is a second green week here for long-term charts. Very positive sign here. Price reacting very well here. Very good sign there. Our price percentage oscillator, that blue line there, is above red. So that is a very positive sign. Two very positive signs there. On our little stoplight thing, we would give this a green light to be in this fund. It's doing very well, where it's, I don't see it as a cautious right now or a red, so this is a good fund to be in for IVV. Let's look at it from a short-term basis. Short-term basis for this fund, very interesting. For the longest time, on the short-term basis, we saw our oscillator descending, but this last week, we just see it pick back up. That is a very positive sign. Kind of been right in the middle for price percentage oscillator, not towards the top or the bottom, but it's starting to just tick above there. That's another positive sign. This is a green light for a short-term and long-term fund. You guys should be involved in this fund. Very, very good fund. Let's move on to the next one, which is small caps. That is VXF. VXF has been moving kind of in this trough-like, just seesaw-like movement for a while here. Hoping to see and get it above these two things here, these two highs, to see something kind of different. I'm not really seeing that on this chart here. Let's look at it from a technical analysis. So for long-term charts for VXF, what are we seeing? We use the exact same indicators. We have a positive sign here with our derivative oscillator. As you can see, it's moving out of the trough here towards the positive, towards green. That is good. Price is reacting a little bit there. But our price percentage oscillator is still below red. That is definitely a red sign. So one green, one red. That makes it a yellow. That's a caution. Proceed with caution. A yellow light. Proceed with caution on this fund moving forward. I think it could definitely turn into a green shortly, but we have not seen that just yet. On a short-term basis for VXF, what are we seeing? As you can see, positive sign here with our derivative oscillator. Positive sign with our price percentage oscillator. That is a green light right now. I lied to you. This is starting to go down a little bit, so that is a yellow light. We're still a little yellow there and green here. It's kind of intermixed. I would say proceed with caution on the short-term basis, but a long-term basis, we're getting to a better buy here, shorter than later, but I think the C fund or IVV is a little bit better choice as of right now. Moving on to international markets, EFA. What are we seeing? Guys, EFA has really taken off. In some of the comments on the Facebook page and on the YouTube videos, a lot of you mentioned that we could probably see this fund going up, and you were right. Look at that. Look at this. It just took off mid-April to where we are at today. It really started moving up a lot, which is a positive sign. Have a lot of room to run up here, so that's a really good sign. EFA has a lot of room, like I said, just a lot of room to run on this chart. Feel pretty good about it. We are above all our moving averages. Let's look at it from a technical analysis. Moving on to EFA here, long-term charts. What are we seeing on the weekly? Look at this, guys. Really positive sign here. We will probably on the Top Notch channel start allocating some of our funds to EFA, international funds. This is a very good positive sign here. Look at this as this starts to pop out here. This is our second week on the derivative oscillator. Perfect. That is what we like to see. The PPO line's just about to cross here. I would say this is, I'll give this a green light on long-term charts. That is a very positive sign. Price very positive here. Good things going on for EFA. That's a green light for EFA on long-term charts. Short-term charts, also a green light. Look at this. The derivative oscillator is moving up, and the price percentage oscillator is also above that red line there. Price has been rocking it up the last couple days. Really good. Been moving right along at a good click. I would definitely recommend this fund as well over our other stock fund, VXF. I think that the C fund and the I fund are definitely leading the pack right now, and that's a good place to have your funds. The last fund we're going to be looking at today is AGG. This is the bond fund. What are we seeing with bonds? As always with bonds, I mention it every week, but it's just the whole year performance with bonds has not been that great. But recently in April, we've been moving back. It's been making a comeback. It got past that 20-day moving average. It is now moving to the 50-day moving average. If it could cross that, we could possibly see it to do well. But our 200-day moving average says it's not doing all that great. As you can see here, it's starting to fall here. This fund is definitely going to underperform our other funds for the year. If you want to be at 100% with your money and what you're doing this year, I would still just avoid this fund for right now until we work out the kinks, and it's just going to underperform our other two funds. So please keep that in mind. On the technical analysis charts, long-term charts for AGG or bonds, what are we seeing? The derivative oscillator is moving out. That is positive. Very good positive sign there. PPO line is coming back here, but has not made it yet. I would say this is a yellow on our stoplight. It is a proceed with caution. just wait and to get involved. We're starting to see price react here. As you can see, real negative here, real negative consequences. So our 2 indicators were negative, really negative here. Now we're starting to come back. Price is starting to come back just a tad bit. That's our weekly chart. Let's look at our 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart does not look good. Look at this. The PPO line, or the price percentage oscillator, is moving back to that red line. And then the derivative oscillator is moving back as well. So we'll have to wait and see where that goes moving forward. Not a place I would have funds for the time being. And as always, the last thing we like to talk about on the Top Notch channel is where are we allocated? Right now on the Top Notch channel, we are in the IVV or the C fund, 100% with new cash and money going into that C fund. We might allocate a little bit to the EFA as we get towards the end of the month here. We are on the 18th, so I would think maybe sometime this week we could do a move, a little bit, just a little bit of cash to EFA, kind of diversify our portfolio a little bit. I think that would be good. So please be looking for that move in our Top Notch YouTube channel, at Facebook and Twitter. We do post our moves when we do make them. Again, I really do appreciate you guys listening into the channel. As always, this is a Top Notch channel. That's another Top Notch video. We'll see you guys next week.